Good evening, crypto kids. I have some dangerous news for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. When we look at Bitcoin, the CME gap that we mentioned this morning when Bitcoin was at 122, we've actually made a lot of the way into the CME gap itself. You've kind of seen a bit of a hint of a dangerous thing that I want to talk to you about. But Bitcoin has made good progress in closing that CME gap throughout the intraday trading hours, but we're still quite far away. And I do have the good belief that Bitcoin will actually end up closing the CME gap in the next few days, potentially this week or maybe next week. But I don't think it will be lasting for too long. I've seen a lot of people doubt the CME gap, saying that it's not going to close or it's going to close in the bear market. But the thing is, with the bear market claim, Bitcoin isn't going parabolic. Like it's not, it's not continuously pumping and pumping and pumping right now. It clearly saw a correction. And the only times when you don't close CME gaps and you leave it for the bear market is when Bitcoin is just continuously inclining and it doesn't stop. So you fill it in the bear market. But in this case, I don't think that will happen. So that's initial claim number one, and that's claim number two. Claim number one is that the CME gap basically has a approximately 95% chance of closing, and I do like those odds. So I still believe that Bitcoin is going to come down to 117,425. I'm keeping my Bitcoin long position that we opened as a limit order at the CME gap. If you want to do the same, you can use the first link in the description down below to sign up to Weeks and trade on the platform as we are doing. And you can actually still get a completely free $1,000 worth of an Ethereum position when you use the first link to sign up. All you have to do is create an account with your email address and password, then link your phone number to your account and download the Weeks app. As soon as you download the app, you can just sign in. In a few minutes' time, you will see a 72-hour countdown where you can claim your $1,000 Ethereum position. I have a full tutorial video on the second link, so make sure to check it out to claim that incredible bonus, because we will talk about Ethereum in a second. But that's my outlook for Bitcoin. I think that we can be closing the CME gap relatively soon. When we go to the macro, I've spotted something very dangerous, and I do see a bit of a shooting star candle on the daily time frame now. That's also something to highlight, and that could cause a more dramatic reversal, potentially to 112, if the CME gap doesn't hold. A bad news that I'm going to tell you, well, it's kind of mixed for the macro, is that we got a third lower high on the M2 money supply with an 84-day delay on the daily time frame for Bitcoin. We gave a full detailed analysis on how much Bitcoin can increase and why Bitcoin will likely top on the final week of September. So I won't cover that. But what I can tell you is that the fact that we've got a third lower high on the M2 money supply suggests that there is a very strong chance that Bitcoin will top between the months of September. From a Bitcoin cycle perspective, it also makes sense, so please be careful. In September and October, I will personally be taking profits. Jumping back into the short term, Bitcoin is also facing a rejection on the ETF from the upper Bollinger Band. Let's see what will happen. I think a correction is due, obviously, for the CME. But as soon as we breach the upper Bollinger Band on the IBITS ETF, I think that's going to reflect some very good major price increases to that 140K region, which the M2 money supply is suggesting, and that has hit a brand new all-time high, but could very much do a double top and retrace to the downside. Time will tell on that specific one. So altcoins, Ethereum, what is Ethereum doing? Ethereum is pumping to 4.3K as we speak. I just did the Moon Show, and on the Moon Show, I told everybody that Ethereum will likely come to this high point of liquidity, where over $2.3 billion worth of liquidation leverage is located. We've done exactly that. Now, most of the liquidity is lying. I mean, actually, you know what? Liquidity is starting to shift to the upside, and that's a good sign. But we do have a lot of liquidity at the 4.1 to 4K levels that we mentioned in the past video. So I won't go into too much detail with that. But what I can tell you is, from a definitive perspective, it is slowly going to be Ethereum season. There isn't much resistance until 4.6. I'm still very bullish on Ethereum. I would definitely claim your free position and start trading Ethereum immediately on Weeks with the first link to not miss out. But when you look at the other altcoins, yeah, they're doing fine, but Ethereum is completely destroying them once you do a relative scale of, okay, altcoin X price comparison in relation to Ethereum. Ethereum is still destroying all of those altcoins through the park. I wouldn't be surprised of a potential correction down to $4,000. Ethereum has also surpassed this morning MasterCard in terms of market capitalization. I think Ethereum itself is going to completely destroy traditional remittance companies like Visa and MasterCard. And if Ethereum, hypothetically, and will likely absorb, because Ethereum does much more than just remittance, when it absorbs the market capitalization of both MasterCard and Visa, that would put it to approximately 1.2 trillion in market cap bringing the price to the $8,000 level, which is my overall target for this altcoin season. So as you can tell, I'm pretty bullish. Just like what Bitcoin did, I think Ethereum will come up to the resistance of this multi-cycle trend line, and that's also in the $8,000 region. If I overlay the price of Bitcoin to you, you're going to understand what I'm saying here. We did this comparison with the total altcoin market cap. And I think obviously, Ethereum being one of those altcoins, we're going to do the exact same thing. So I think $8,000 makes a lot of sense. Bitcoin was even able to breach above that resistance. So maybe we even see altcoin super cycle. Who knows? But what I'm trying to tell you is I think altcoins will do super well, and I would be loading up on your favorite altcoins. For me, those include the Solanas, those include the BNBs. You saw a beautiful retest of the inverse head and shoulder, but Ethereum is taking the spotlight here. I think this is just the beginning for Ethereum, and we can increase way more to the upside. But speaking about altcoins, I also really like Chainlink. Chainlink just announced the collaboration with the ICE market. If I'm not mistaken, that's the largest Forex market in the world to tokenize the entire Forex industry. And at $21, I think that's pretty undervalued. You also have a massive bullish pennant forming on the monthly time frame, which Ethereum obviously is breaking out of. I think Chainlink will do the same. The final segment for today is the news category. Exactly 5 years ago, Michael Saylor made his first ever Bitcoin purchase worth $250 million for Strategy. Now, fast forward 5 years, he owns 3% of the entire Bitcoin supply and is up 30%, 30 billion on his entire investment. So shout out to Michael Saylor, an incredible legend. Guys and girls, smart money has entered Bitcoin. Yes, Harvard now holds $120 million in Bitcoin ETFs, more shares than it holds in Google, which is amazing. This chart I won't get into, but the final thing is that, well, we have CPI day tomorrow, and it's probably going to be volatile, and we will be streaming it on the Moonshow channel, so stay tuned. Guys and girls, if you enjoyed this video, as always, destroy the like button, subscribe to become a Crypto Kid for daily crypto updates. And with that said, that's Crypto Kid signing off for today. I'll see you all on the next video very soon. Take care, guys, and as always, bye-bye.